For thousands of years, the Mahabharata has been revered as India's ultimate epic. But is it mythology or a literal historical record? Before we find out, a quick thanks to Thakur Property Consultancy for sponsoring today's video. To understand the epic, we have to look at how we date it. For centuries, traditional scholars have tied the Kurukshetra War to the dawn of the Kali Yuga, placing it roughly around 3100 BCE. This creates a massive geographical paradox. If the Kuru kings ruled the Ganga basin in 3100 BCE, they would be the impoverished eastern neighbors of the booming, hyper-advanced Indus Valley civilization. Yet the vast texts of the epic contain absolutely zero mentions of this massive, wealthy trade network right next door. The epic's geography and the archaeological reality ignore each other completely, but the night sky doesn't match up either. Vyasa recorded highly specific planetary alignments during the war, and they completely fail to align with the actual night sky of 3100 BCE. Because the geography and the stars directly contradict a 3100 BCE start date, the traditional timeline breaks down. Now, we need to reset the clock. When we shift our focus forward to the mature Harappan phase, between 3300 and 1900 BCE, the archaeology and the Rig Vedic texts begin to align. During this window, the ancient Saraswati flowed directly from the Himalayas. It was a stable, rain-fed river supporting dense Kuru settlements. The texts detail how a Vedic ruler, King Samvarana, fled this Yamuna-Saraswati region, migrating his people straight into the heart of the Indus Valley. His descendants ruled from the banks of the Sindhu for 1,000 years. The populations that built the great Harappan cities and the figures described in the Vedic texts were deeply intertwined. To pinpoint the Kurukshetra War within this era, we use planetarium software to forensically test the celestial observations recorded in the epic. This simulation shows the exact celestial alignment Vyasa described, a rare lunar eclipse occurring precisely on Kartika Purnima. Furthermore, this view of the sky confirms a disastrous planetary alignment required by the text, where Jupiter, Mars, and the Moon sit in a specific, exact orientation. The simulation returns a single definitive date that satisfies all the celestial requirements. The Kurukshetra War began on October 14, 1793 BCE. This table shows exactly how precise that anchor is. If we count forward exactly 68 days from the start of the war, we land on December 20th. That is the winter solstice, perfectly matching the epic's exact date for Bhishma's death. Matching 52 celestial observations while hitting a precise 68-day count to the solstice suggests these descriptions were transcribed from direct observation, not invented as poetry. With 1793 BCE established as our anchor, we can look at the Puranas. The Matsya, Vayu, and Brahmanda texts meticulously preserved the names and exact regnal years of every single king who ruled after the war. Placing the first post-war king at 1793 BCE creates a cascading chronological chain of rulers descending through the late Harappan period. That unbroken sequence continues through history, landing exactly on the verified coronation of Mahapadmananda in 364 BCE. Not 1 year is missing. These Puranic genealogies successfully bridge the gap between ancient epic and recorded history, proving an unbroken chain of civilizational continuity. By locking the war to 1793 BCE, the epic's narrative slots directly into the known archaeological layer of the late Harappan period. The migration of the Kuru kings into the Sindhu region provides the historical glue, showing how the urban architects of the Indus and the Vedic figures of the texts shared a single continuous identity. These ancient texts operate as highly advanced scientific and genealogical ledgers, preserving the exact coordinates of their time in the stars and their history in the king lists. Modern forensic tools finally allow us to read the historical clock our ancestors left behind. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Pawan Thakur of Thakur Property Consultancy for sponsoring this video.